Lately, it's time for movie and the scrimp. We tried. We tried. Sorry, I almost missed it. We got a little bit. Ooh, let's hear some Cope and some Haterade. You okay?
But think of the bigger picture here. For millions of years, we were forest people. We began deforestation when we got into agriculture.
You know what? I just was a responsible broadcaster. I was about to go answer it.
Nature, the mycelium that's resident.
I mean, if you answer them and say, hey, you're on the air, would you like to talk? I mean, then they can. But yeah, you'd have to let them know they're on the air.
Birds, people, speaks to me of a bigger concept, that the mycelium is part of the immunity of the ecosystem. And as we lose the debris fields that the mycelium is dependent upon, we begin to dismantle the immunological health of our environment. And zoonotic diseases coming from factory farms, whether they're from pigs or chicken farms. And
sure,
we had one extraordinary experiment.
Oh, she must have woke up. You know what? She went to bed at 12:45. She woke up. She got 8 hours, 7.5 hours.
I was working with the BioShield Biodefense Program directly after 9/11. They contacted me because I wrote an article that was a one-page analysis of all the research on the antiviral properties of mushrooms in scientific literature. I wrote this article, I published it in a peer-reviewed journal. Bioterrorism became the front and center of concern of the U.S. Defense Department. A group of virologists saw my article, and they got funded by Dick Cheney and George Bush, and I have a... I want to say thank you. They funded the BioShield. It's called Project Biodefense. And they funded it with several $1 billion. And they contacted me because I knew I had this large library. I have about 700 strains of mushrooms in our culture library. We have a company of 78 great employees. And we had this large library. So they said, we want to test your library based on this article that you've written showing there are antiviral properties in some mushrooms. You have a lot of them. Let's test your library to see if you have antiviral properties. So, great. So I started making extracts of mushrooms, the fruit bodies, the mycelium.
Where was and Nana's Clam says, as an electronics engineer, stop putting your stuff in rice. Disassemble as much as you can and let air circulate.
So they didn't, the government didn't know what I was sending.
Here's a guy you need to hear from, Johnny.
I get the first reports come back, and I'm flipping through them. No activity, no activity against pox viruses.
Never mind. I thought it was someone who actually had some advice because they've been through something similar on this show. But go ahead, California.
Defense against it. After 1974, they stopped immunizing. So I'm going through, and I come to sample 78, and it said high activity. I went, whoa. Sample 81, high activity. Whoa, I got really excited. I looked at my notebook what the codes were, and it was from this mushroom called agarikon that grows exclusively in the old-growth forests of the Pacific Northwest. I'm up in Canada, and
it could be
one of my managers calls me up and says, Paul, there's a helicopter over the laboratory.
Yeah, listen to Mikey Two Milks. This is California.
Helicopters come and go. He goes, no, it's really close. And I said, how close? He
goes, I just said. I said, listen to Mikey Two Milks. This is California.
Whoa,
and then he
really
hangs
close.
up.
I go, what are the numbers on the back of the helicopter?
I was actually kind of...
There are no numbers. It's a Black Hawk helicopter. And I went, oh, my gosh.
Oh.
Now just because this is very new in the program, because when you have an antidote to
I'm getting a restricted
then it can be weaponized by terrorists. So they didn't know who, not everybody
should I or shouldn't
knew who I was, even though I was working with a Project Biodefense.
I laugh away the awkwardness
entity.
Is what I do.
Hey,
I have an idea
on this.
After that, hey, by the way,
and so I told my manager, okay, shut down the business, give everybody
the best performers in the business, knock out that 150 for us, and that'll make this a lot more comfortable. Look at it, I'm throwing my whole body. It's not just my hands that are getting gay now. It's my entire body.